The Mandalorian has arrived with huge connections to the Star Wars lore, including a surprise cameo from another famous bounty hunter and more. What's up, Comic Book Nation? BD here with all the details you need from The Mandalorian, the first Star Wars series to hit the Disney Plus streaming service, and Pedro Pascal's main bounty hunter wasn't the only famous bounty hunter in this episode. Let's start there, the big hidden cameo that has everyone talking. About 18 and a half minutes into the first episode of The Mandalorian, it looks like Boba Fett is just casually hanging in the background. Since The Mandalorian is set after the fall of the Empire and Return of the Jedi, Boba Fett is presumed dead as he was last seen falling into a Sarlacc pit. Now, in today's day and age, we know better than to presume a big character dead without seeing a body, so maybe he survived and could have a role in The Mandalorian?
That's impossible!
There was a little Yoda at the end of the episode, literally. Look at that cute little guy, he's adorable. This little greenie was revealed to be the 50-year-old bounty that The Mandalorian was hired to track down. Naturally, we all screamed and went, "Oh, baby Yoda!" But it's definitely not Yoda because Yoda is dead. As we just stated, this is after Return of the Jedi, R.I.P. Wise One. This could be an opportunity to dive into Yoda's unexplored and unnamed race, but this is more likely a clone of someone from that race, considering Dr. Pershing, one of the two men who sent the Mandalorian on this mission demanding the bounty be retrieved alive, has a patch on his shoulder indicating an affiliation with Kaminoans and cloning. Either he himself is a clone, or he is responsible for trying to clone Yoda's race, or both. Makes you think, but are we not gonna go back and talk about how cute that little baby is? No, we're not. As for the Mandalorian's past, flashbacks showed a young version of the character running from separatist battle droids, which seems to be the conquest of Mandalore, which was led by Darth Maul. When the Mandalorian gets a piece of Beskar steel, which was once a defining piece of Mandalore culture, a bit of his good intention is shown when he leaves the excess for others to use for their own armor or trade. We're not exactly sure what yet. He is also asked,
"Has your signet been revealed?"
Not yet.
So that's probably a detail about his legacy in some way, which will come in later as he gets more armor and is unmasked, both literally and figuratively. There are also quite a few smaller Easter eggs and references to the Star Wars lore, like the Mandalorian fighting off Aquaran, which is the same Davy Jones-looking alien from the planet Mon Calamari, which is the home planet of Admiral Akbar's Mon Cala species.
It's a trap!
At the moment, these guys are probably pretty rich because Greef Karga has to pay the Mandalorian and Calamari Flan, seeing as Imperial credits aren't worth much after the fall of the Empire and New Republic credits aren't the main currency yet. There's also a Kubaz earlier in the episode that helps the Mandalorian, which is a species that popped up in A New Hope, snitching on Luke and his gang to the Stormtroopers. The same TTAL gatekeeper droid from Jabba's palace shows up. The Mandalorian's first bounty is a Mithril who has one thing in mind.
I was hoping to be free for Life Day.
Which is a reference to the Star Wars Christmas special celebrating the galaxy far, far away's equivalent to a big holiday. R5-D4 from A New Hope makes an appearance. The beloved Kowakian monkey lizards known from Return of the Jedi pop up. The game known as Sabacc, which cost Lando his Millennium Falcon, is being played. Greedo's Rhodian species pops up, and the Mythosaur that Nick Nolte's character talks about is also seen in emblem form before the Mandalorian makes his shoulder pad. Finally, worth noting, the IG-11 wearing Wookiee Bandoliers is voiced by Taika Waititi, known best for directing movies like Jojo Rabbit, What We Do in the Shadows, and Thor Ragnarok, where he also lent his voice to Korg. The droid is now dead, at least for now, but Waititi will be back to direct an episode later this season. What Easter eggs and references did you catch in The Mandalorian? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments section, or send them my way on Instagram and Twitter at BrandonDavisBD, and you might be featured on Comicbook.com. Stay tuned to Comicbook.com/Star Wars for more. I'm BD. I have spoken.